the last phone conversation that James Charles and I had, he said some things telling me about a situation that happened in Seattle at my birthday, and it literally made me want to vomit. Oh my God, you tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay yet again, and somehow you're the victim. You know, it's really disgusting to manipulate someone's sexuality, especially when they are still, emerging into adulthood and don't quite have everything figured out. You are using your fame, your power, your money to play with people's emotions, and you're doing that to have them behave sexually in your favor, even if they're straight. And you know what? That's not okay. And how dare you laugh about it and make meme after meme and retweet and this and that and I love straight boys, and make it a joke. Because this behavior is not normal, it's not okay. Cracking someone's sexuality is not an escape room.
First of all, I'm a 19-year-old virgin. I talk about boys quite a lot on my social media networks. Clearly at this point, it is not acceptable anymore. We're talking about that in a little bit, I promise you. But just thought I would bring it up, put it out into the universe. I don't really get a lot of action. You have probably guessed this at this point. So that being said, I have never, and would never, and will never, use my fame, money, or power to manipulate or get any sexual actions from a guy. That is disgusting. It is not me. And the fact that Tati brought this up blows my mind because she knows the real story. The story that we're talking about here is a situation that happened when I was in Seattle for Tati's surprise party with a boy named Sam. Now, I'm going to tell you the full story since everybody seems to be leaving out literally every single detail. In Tati's video, she mentioned that she was disgusted and had to apologize to her family for me apparently saying things that I wanted to do to a waiter and then justifying those actions by saying I am a celebrity. Okay, this literally did not happen. What did happen is that me, Jeffree, Nate, and my best friend Drew all flew to Seattle to surprise Tati for her birthday on February 14th. That night, we went out to dinner with Tati and James and her whole family, and we're in a restaurant. There was a cute boy across the restaurant that I kept making eye contact with and that I was interested in. And the conversation of dating for me and Jeffree both came up at the dinner table and we were talking about it for a very, very short period of time. The conversation never got inappropriate. Period. The boy that was involved with the story is named Sam. Now, when I originally wanted to do this video addressing everything, I did plan on crossing his name and keeping him completely private, but he has since come out and made a video of his own talking about the situation, just like Tati leaving out many, many details. But in his video and in the screenshots that I have, Sam mentioned that he was perfectly fine and found the flirting that I was doing flattering. So I'm not really sure why this got turned into something much bigger, but it simply was not.
He was looking at me later on that night. He started talking to the other employees about me, asking me if I had a Valentine. This was on Valentine's Day, where he especially thought that I was very attractive and he wanted to get my phone number and all that. But the wait staff at my restaurant didn't let that happen. He left and it kind of just went untalked about.
The I'm a celebrity thing is really incredibly frustrating to me because this is an inside joke between my friends and I that Tati has also participated in, and she twisted this to be something far worse than what it is. This is the joke that really is where we say I'm famous, not I'm a celebrity, and it's something that we don't say in public very often because without context, I get it, it looks and sounds really, really bad, trust me. Literally, famous is synonymous with anything good. So yeah, if my YouTube video does well one day, my friends will say, oh my God, James, you're so famous. But literally, if my friend takes a good Instagram photo, oh my God, you're so famous. If our boneless buffalo wings at Chili's are extra delicious one day, oh my God, these wings are so, so famous. It has nothing to do at all with fame, power, or money, which is what Tati alluded it to being, and it is so frustrating that she turned an innocent and funny inside joke that she has participated in into something so beyond disgusting. I'm going to try my best to make a long story very short. The next day, Sam slid into my DMs first and I happened to see it. We started talking back and forth and he mentioned that he was flattered by me flirting with him the night beforehand.
Sorry about last night, you're very attractive. And then I responded with, it's all good, very flattering actually.
A few minutes into the conversation, I asked him about his sexuality and he told me straight up that he was bisexual.
Oh my God, you tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay.
There was no straight men being manipulated anywhere in the story like Tati mentioned. Later on in the conversation, he asked when I was leaving Seattle, and I told him the next morning, to which he responded, I wish we had time to hang out, and I said, hey, why don't you come over to my hotel tonight? We can watch a movie together. He said, sounds good. Later on, he messaged me first and told me, hey, straight up, I've never done anything with a guy before. I'm a little bit nervous. To which I told him there was absolutely no pressure. This is all shown in the screenshots. Sam showed up at the hotel. We watched the movie together and we cuddled. After the movie, I asked him if he wanted to kiss, to which he said yes.
I get to the hotel room. We say hi. It's all fine. We end up watching a movie. And after that movie, he asked to kiss me. I said yes. We ended up making out for around an hour. And if I'm being honest, he's the worst kisser I've ever kissed. Way too much tongue.
All right, note taken. After making out with Sam for over an hour, I did invite him to sleep over at the hotel.
And he kept telling me to stay, like, please stay, don't leave me. All this and that, but I really wanted to go home, so I left.
Of course, I wanted to spend more time with him, but he said that he wanted to go home and be in his own bed and think about everything that was going on because it was quite a lot, and I definitely understood and did not blame him. He then left and sent me a message afterwards thanking me for being so understanding, and I told him that I would always be there for him if he needed literally anything. Point being, everything that happened in the hotel room was 100% consensual, and this is confirmed.
I said yes.
By the only two parties that were actually there, being myself and Sam. After this night, Sam and I continued to talk for the next several weeks. At first, it was really great, but I noticed that his feelings towards me and sexuality were kind of wavering quite a lot, and I came to the conclusion that he needed to figure himself out and that I needed to move on because I kept getting hurt. Last important note to keep in mind about the timeline of the whole situation. On May 2nd, Sam texted me from his friend's phone saying that he was fully gay and needed to talk to me about something important. I called him, and instead of talking about that, he asked me if I was talking to another guy at the same time that I was talking to him. I was a little bit confused as to why I was being asked this, but I did answer him honestly, and then I asked him what made him come to conclusion with everything. To which he said, I'm actually not fully gay. After dealing with this a million times, I was frustrated, and I hung up. Just to clarify, so there are no further questions, the point of including this screenshot is not to out Sam. Sam texted me saying he was fully gay, but it was a trap to get me on FaceTime so he could illegally record the conversation to include in the video that he was planning later on. Like I said, at the end of the conversation, I asked Sam how he came to this conclusion, and then he told me he was not fully gay, to which I hung up out of frustration. Later on, he texted me saying he was confirmed bi. This is why, in Sam's video, he included a screenshot of me telling him I did not think he was fully straight. This comment had a lot of people really upset and confused as to why I was telling somebody their sexuality, but there's a very simple explanation. Sam and I talked for a very long time, and his sexuality, like I said, wavered a lot. Every time that he was a little bit confused, we had open and honest conversations about it, and he always asked me my input, and I gave it to him. I would never out somebody, and I have never, ever tried to manipulate somebody's sexuality, including his, point blank period. The whole situation the exact way. On Monday, May 6th, Jeffree posted this tweet to his Twitter, which I instantly started getting tagged in. After this tweet and a few other ones from him and his friends, I decided to reach out to him and ask if there was something going on that I should be aware of. He replied to me and he said that it was not about me and that it was about another brand stealing his ideas. This message was in a voice memo, which has since disappeared from the screenshot. You'll just have to believe me. I have literally no reason to lie at this point. Even though he said it wasn't about me, I still asked to talk to him, but he said he was unavailable. A few hours later, while I was getting ready for the Met Gala, I got this text from Jeffree. Concerned but mostly really confused, I reached out to him about meeting together in private in hopes to speak together and figure out the misunderstanding, but he didn't reply. 3 days later, still no response, I decided to reach out again, but he was not available to talk. I flew to Australia on May 8th, and on May 10th, hours before my scheduled meet and greet appearance where 5,000 fans were already waiting outside, I was woken up at 4 in the morning by my friend because Tati had just uploaded her video titled By Sister. Watching Tati's video, it was very clear to me that my friend was still very hurt, and even though I had already apologized both privately and publicly, I wanted to make a video right then and there with my raw and honest emotions. But because of the time difference, it took me an extra few hours to film the video and get it up, and by the time I was about to hit publish, I received yet another text from Jeffree Star. I've already cleared up Sam and our night together being 100% consensual. He was absolutely not trapped in a hotel room, but Jeffree also brings up Zach. Zach is his boyfriend Nate's brother, and not only did I not pursue Zach, who identifies as mainly straight, but it was actually Jeffree who suggested that I talk to him in the first place.
Hey, Nate's brother is single and mainly straight, right up your alley.
Sounds good.
And he
Sounds great for me.
And he just moved here. Work.
Zach and I talked on Snapchat for maybe a total of 10 selfies back and forth to each other. He was super, super sweet, but it was very clear to me that he was not actually interested, and the conversation stopped before anything could even get remotely flirty at all. With everything going on, I did not reply to Jeffree's text in the moment. A few days later, on Monday, I woke up again in the middle of the night from a phone call from my little brother Ian, who was very, very upset. He told me he had tweeted saying, why do people act so tough online about somebody from his hometown who was bullying him? And Jeffree Star, of all people, had quote tweeted Ian's tweet saying, why is your brother a predator? Why did you really move back to New York City? Exactly, shut the fuck up. Many people were quick to call out Jeffree for bullying a kid who had nothing to do with the situation literally at all, and he deleted the tweet. After this, I went to check my phone and noticed that Jeffree had texted me a few minutes prior, and I opened my phone to this. I really want to read this text out loud, just so you all get to hear exactly what I had to read, but also so I don't miss anything. Grayson is going on camera shortly to finally tell the world how you tried to molest him and touch him in his sleep and made him uncomfortable for months, you sick motherfucker. Next, Zach will be going on camera to tell how twisted and sick you were, trying to get him to like you and then make him feel bad when he didn't want to send you photos back. Then Sam from Seattle will be joining me and Cameron to talk about you trapping him in his hotel room. You need to be locked in prison for a very long time. You need the internet taken away from you. You are a danger to society. As disgusting as it is, I have to admit, bringing up Grayson Dolan was pretty clever. At the height of all these allegations and stories going around, both of the twins unfollowed me, not wanting to be associated, and fans started speculating that the rumors could be as to why. Too bad that aside from our pre-planned collaborative jokes that happened in the Sister Squad videos with me and Grayson flirting, nothing ever happened between us. And when all this went down, I knew Jeffree was lying because the twins were two of the first people to call me and make sure that I was okay. I already mentioned Zach, and I still have no idea who the Cameron Jeffree is referring to in this message is, but he also brought up Sam last, who we also already talked about. Later on that day though, Jeffree was right. Sam did upload a video to his YouTube channel telling the whole story. He left out almost all the details and included an illegally recorded FaceTime call, which was on May 2nd, told you to remember that. But even through all of this, he still managed to get the point across that our interactions were 100% consensual. Next was Jeffree's tweet to my little brother Ian. Now, I did say that this video was going to be solely based on facts, and I of course can't prove what Jeffree was trying to imply here, and I don't want to put words into his mouth. But since it's now open for speculation, might as well clear the air. Ian actually went home for a few different reasons, but it's temporary. He had to get his wisdom teeth taken out, and he's also working on different modeling opportunities in New York City, and I am so incredibly proud of him. But he was also having a really, really hard time in LA. Dealing with a public breakup and negativity online sent him into diagnosed clinical depression, which he is now being treated for, and he wanted to be with my parents. Nothing more. Last but finally not least, Jeffree posted this tweet claiming he hadn't seen me since February and that Nate banned me from their home. Now, this so-called ban is the first time I'm ever hearing of this, and I just think it's really funny that Jeffree brought this up, considering the fact that he's tweeted me twice in between February and now saying that he missed me. Regardless, he ended that tweet by saying I was a danger to society and everything in Tati's video was 100% true. Adding insult to injury, not only did Jeffree text me, but he also went out of his way to text my best friend, Drew, this lovely message trying to turn him against me. Jeffree's messaging about me both in private and in public was hurtful, defamatory, extremely excessive, but most importantly, literally all based on lies. I wish I knew why he was doing all this, but at the same time, his track record with public feuds makes none of this a surprise. Tati made a video telling stories about me and publicly humiliating me, and now I have serious allegations against me that could be detrimental to my career and but unfortunately I had to sever ties with Killer Merch. I just don't see a world that exists where I could ever be in business with a team ran by someone like Jeffree Star. If you placed an order on the website before it went down, everything will still be fulfilled. Don't worry, you'll get your items. And if you had a gift card beforehand, make sure you hold on to it because the balance will be valid whenever we reopen because we are coming back, I promise. In regard